Okay, so what happens right before your appointment is you will receive a notification letting you know whether we're 10, 15, 30 minutes away. But regardless, all my customers will receive a notification and it'll go right to your cell phone. So you'll never be guessing when we're on our way. So right now we're gonna head to our appointment in Brunswick and we'll see you there. Okay, so we're at the customer's house now. I just spoke to the customer. I want to make sure I keep them off the camera. And we looked around the house. We saw all the green algae and all the kind of like the pain points for the customer. And then we also looked at all the electrical outlets just to make sure that, you know, we cover everything properly. And we're good to go now. So we're just going to bring out all the hoses. And what we like to do is just make sure everything's prepped and out and ready. And then we wash. So come with me and I'll show you. So if there's a Ring doorbell, we always cover the Ring doorbell, but at this house, there's not. This is a great tape that really blocks out all that water. There's no water getting through this. So that's all covered, and so we're good with all the electrical outlets now. So now we're gonna bring out the hose and prep everything to get ready for the house. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys what we typically do. The other things that we like to protect on the houses, just to make sure there's no damage to your property or plants or anything organic. So what we like to do is, you'll see later, we spray everything down. It's already really wet from raining the past day and it's cold out. It's like 45 right now. But we're going to show you what we really concentrate on when we pre-wet all the vegetation. So what we do is all these plants right here, we pre-wet all of that, but the plants that we really concentrate on are the flowers. So these are azaleas, very light petals. They can absorb some of the chemical that we use. So we make sure to pre-wet these heavily. We're gonna pre-wet them, but they're already pretty wet from all the rain the past day. And anything with soft petals, like this customer has hydrangeas over here, we're gonna take care of that. And yeah, we're just gonna pre-wet everything. So before we do that though, we're gonna take some before and after pictures. We like to do before and after pictures so that you guys can see whether you're at home or not, that the job's been completed and all those eyesores that you want to get taken care of are taken care of. So as you can see up here, you see there's a lot of green algae. So I'm gonna make a note of this and take a picture of before and after this, because it's gonna look a lot better without even having to scrub it with a brush or anything extra. Some customers contact me, they want to know how much it is to clean the exterior of their gutters along with the house. And that's a separate cost, and sometimes it can get costly. So what I like to do is say, let's hold off and see the results first to see how it looks after we're done cleaning, because 99% of the times, you know, the customers are okay with how it looks after we wash the house, because we really concentrate on the gutters. I don't think, maybe like, I actually 99% of customers are perfectly okay with the way it looks, and they're actually very happy and shocked with how nice it looks just from a house wash. So my great videographer is going to record me as I do before and after pictures. I use a software called Company Cam, and I take pictures of everything. And also I take pictures so you know if there's anything that is wrong with your house, you know it's not me that did it, because I like to protect myself and I like to protect your house too. So at least here's some notes in case, you know, maybe a landscaper is doing some work around the house and there's a hole in the house all of a sudden. Well, you're gonna know it wasn't me, and it was most likely the landscaper, because maybe a rock shot out when he was, you know, doing your lawn or something. But I'll have a picture of every spot of your house, just so you know it's not me. You know, it's a liability thing for to protect me, and also to let the customer know that, you know, you're protected as well. So this might be hard to see, but this is called lichen. It's a type of algae, and this is usually a lot harder to get off, but we apply heavy chemical to kill this off. Sometimes this will stain your house if it's been on there for a while, especially if you have a white home. But what we like to do is make sure we apply heavy enough chemical to get rid of this so that we can gently wash everything off. And when you see us wash, what we do is we call it soft washing. We apply sodium hypochlorite to your house and we let it kill off everything at the microscopic level, because pressure washing can actually damage your house. Irreparable damage to your house. So what we like to do is apply the chemical and rinse it off. It's very fast, it's effective, and it cleans it even better, giving you a longer lasting clean for your house. one thing to note is that underneath, you probably can't see it on camera, but underneath all the different siding, there's this green algae that grows underneath here. It's probably hard to see, but what that means is when we apply the solution, sometimes we'll get some stuff leaking out of something called a weep hole, which is underneath the siding, and you might see some like dirt come down like that down your side. So if that ever happens, just let me know. You know, most of the time it just goes away with rain because it's just, you know, just dirt basically, and rain washes it away. But I let all my customers know, like, if there's anything at all that you notice in the house that still needs to be cleaned, because we are human, let me know, call me. It's no charge to you, we take care of it. But houses like this where we have to get underneath are more likely to have some seepage out of the weep hole, and that's completely normal, so never worry about that. And it looks like water wiggly lines going like that with a little bit of brown, so that's what we typically see. Patios like this, they don't always, you know, come clean with typical cleaning, especially like the white parts up here. They just get stained throughout the years, especially if, you know, if you're not cleaning it every year or two, but they always end up looking a lot better. So we're gonna spray underneath here. And you know, sometimes if we see stuff like this block is super dirty, if we're back here, we're cleaning, I like to do nice stuff for my customers because I'm a nice guy. So I'll probably end up cleaning this for the customer because she's super nice. So it pays to be nice, trust me. And we're pretty much done now taking pictures of the house. So we're gonna get fired up, pre-wet the entire, all the vegetation, and then we'll get going to cleaning. So next, everything's pre-wet now. So we're gonna start applying the chemical solution, the sodium hypochlorite. And so what we have is 1.5%, 1.25 to 1.5% sodium hypochlorite, and the rest is water. So it's just completely water-based, and then we're gonna probably soak the house a little bit more with the solution on the bad parts, and less to where it doesn't need it as much, but it's still gonna be applied to the house. That way it kills off everything, like I always say, at the microscopic level. So I'll turn on the machine, and then you'll see how sometimes I spend a little more time in those areas that are a little more darker green, and especially with lichen as well. So check it out in a second. You won't be able to see it over here, but now that a lot of the green has been removed from that top section up there, it's not revealing lichen that's actually up there. So sometimes we have to get on a ladder and get that lichen off because it's on there so heavily. But that's what happens when you don't wash your house very often. You do get that lichen build up, and it's a lot harder to get rid of that stuff. All right, so now I just got done applying the chemical to the house, covered the whole house. When we get in the back, you'll start seeing how all the algae that was there before is now 90% gone, or maybe 100% sometimes. And at that point, we just gently rinse everything off, and it comes off. And I'll be using this at one point back there on that little concrete pad. It's called a turbo nozzle, and it shoots out water in like a pattern like this, really fast in circles. And it's really good on concrete, and it cleans those super dirty pads like you're gonna see back here. The sun just came out, so it's a lot easier to see, but there's something called artillery fungus that is on every single house, whenever you have mulch. There's artillery fungus that's in the mulch that shoots out. I've seen it as high as 2 stories before. Some people even say 3 stories, and it's just a little spot. Like, this is algae that we still have to get rid of, but this is artillery fungus right here. and you can't get it off with pressure washing. It's almost impossible to get off without like a razor blade or something, but that's something that never comes off with pressure washing. It's either you're picking it off with your fingernail or a razor blade. They're a pain to get rid of, if you can even get rid of them. All right, so you probably just noticed that I apply a lot more pressure to the gutters, and that's the only place outside the concrete that I apply pressure to in the house, because the gutters, they can handle it, and that's the only way that I can really clean them very well with all that really thick algae on there. As you can see, they're turning out great. I'm almost done spraying those down, and we're pretty much almost done with the house at this point, but just note, don't let anyone really pressure wash your house because they could destroy it. It's a whole nother video of all the possibilities that could happen. And one thing you also may notice is how much I go over the windows. I've gone to a lot of customers' houses that said, are you gonna protect my windows? And at first I was thinking, what are they talking about? But over time I realized by going up to the windows that previous companies, and some very large companies especially, they leave the bleach on the windows. They might touch it once, if that, when they rinse. And it leaves a very thick substance on the window that's almost impossible to get out without quadruple steel wool, and it's tough at that point too. Then you might need some water and vinegar, just something to break it down, because it's almost impossible. And you're doing it on second story floor, third story in some houses, first story. Every nook and cranny, you're touching that up, and it's not good. So that's why I get windows so much. So this is another thing that wasn't quoted, but I'm here. I've got the equipment. Why not do something nice for my customers? Because I like to make people happy. So I do small things like this just to, I don't know, make you guys happy, I guess. All right, now it's time for the turbo nozzle. It is amazing, but you gotta be careful with it. Let's get closer to it. Amazing how much cleaner that gets. So now I gotta rinse down the house, because obviously it makes a mess all over the house whenever I do this, and on me, but it's okay, it's worth it, because I mean, this looks so much better already. All right, so now the job is complete. We're gonna wrap everything up and then do a final walkthrough with the customer to make sure she's good with everything. And with us, you don't pay until you're satisfied. So we're gonna make sure that this customer is satisfied and that she sees that all the algae and all the nasty spots are gone. And we'll show her some of the extra little things we did for her as well. So if you like these videos and want to learn more about either pressure washing or Pyramus pressure washing and why you should choose us, just keep following us on YouTube.